How often do you find yourself drifting through the motions, a ghost in your own life, haunted by the whispers of what could be, yet paralyzed by the fear of what is? You wake up, the alarm, a brutal jolt to a reality you never consciously chose, a reality where your greatest aspiration is the weekend, and your deepest thought is what to have for dinner. You're a passenger in a vehicle you're supposed to be driving, watching the scenery flash by, admiring the lives of others, all while your own engine sputters. You scroll through the highlight reels of the world, feeling a pang of envy for the fortunes built, the empires forged, the lives lived on a canvas of audacious ambition, all from a life you've been told is the only one you can have. You've been sold a comfortable lie, a gilded cage where the bars are a steady paycheck, a manageable debt, and the subtle, soul-crushing terror of rocking the boat. You've been convinced that true wealth, the kind that reshapes generations, is for the lucky few, the genetically blessed, the born-into-it class, and so you settle. You trade your potential for comfort, your dreams for stability, and your boundless vision for a predictable tomorrow. You become a statistic, a cog, a footnote in the grand story of humanity, all because you never dared to ask the one question that separates the wealthy from the wishing, the audacious from the average. What is a millionaire mind, and why must I define it for myself? You see, the world has a vested interest in keeping you asleep, the machinery of our modern society. From the endless stream of distractions to the subtle programming of our education systems, is designed to produce obedient workers, not creative masters. The narrative is simple. Get a degree, find a job, climb a ladder, buy a house, retire. This is not a map to fulfillment. It's a blueprint for mediocrity. This isn't a life plan. It's a spiritual anesthetic. The millionaire mind, however, rejects this entire premise. It is not about a number in a bank account. That's just the scoreboard. The millionaire mind is a distinct operating system, a powerful, unwavering philosophy that transforms the way you perceive reality. It's a lens through which you see not obstacles, but opportunities, not problems, but puzzles to be solved, not setbacks, but fuel for the fire. It is the unwavering conviction that your destiny is not written by chance, but by choice. The millionaire mind is the deep cellular belief that you are the architect of your own universe, and that the resources you need to build your empire are not external to you, but within you. The first step in defining this mind is to understand the nature of desire. This is not a passive wish. It is not a fleeting thought you send out into the ether, hoping it comes back with a winning lottery ticket. Napoleon Hill called it a burning desire. This is a desire so intense, so all-consuming, that it becomes a physical ache in your bones, a constant thrumming in your veins. Think of Thomas Edison. He didn't just wish for a light bulb. He was obsessed with it. He failed thousands of times, not because he was a masochist, but because his desire for a practical, lasting light source was so potent that each failure was simply a data point, another path to cross off the list. His desire wasn't a whisper. It was a roar. The average person wishes. They hope. They dream. They say, I'd like to be wealthy. But that's like saying, I'd like to have a six-pack. The millionaire mind doesn't wish. It decides. It declares. It burns the ships behind it. It says, I will be wealthy. I will build this empire. I will solve this problem. This is a deep, non-negotiable command to the universe and, more importantly, to yourself. This isn't about being greedy. This is about honoring the spark of genius and potential within you. It's about believing that the most noble pursuit is to become the fullest, most powerful expression of who you were meant to be. The next pillar in this architectural masterpiece of the mind is faith. Not religious faith, though that may be part of it, but faith in yourself, faith in the unseen. Faith in the potential of an idea that no one else can see. The world will tell you your idea is crazy. Your family will tell you to be realistic. Your friends will tell you to play it safe. This is where faith becomes your shield and your sword. Think of Walt Disney. The banks told him no. His brother told him it was a financial catastrophe. The critics laughed at him. He was a man with a cartoon mouse and a vision for a magical kingdom. What sustained him through all the ridicule, all the setbacks, all the near bankruptcies? It was an unwavering, almost delusional faith in the power of his imagination. He had the ability to see his theme park, to hear the laughter of the children, to smell the popcorn and feel the magic long before a single shovel broke ground. That's what faith is. It is the ability to see with the mind's eye what others can only see with their physical eyes. It is the ability to walk toward a future that exists only in your imagination, all while the world around you tells you that you are a fool. The millionaire mind cultivates this faith like a precious garden. It waters it with self-belief, protects it from the weeds of doubt, and fertilizes it with the daily practice of affirmation and visualization. Because what you believe to be true, your subconscious mind will work tirelessly to make a reality. The universe doesn't respond to your wishes, it responds to your convictions. This brings us to the crucial element of clarity. Most people live in a foggy state of, I want to be successful, or I want to be financially free. These are not goals, they are sentiments. They are the equivalent of a GPS telling you to go somewhere nice. The millionaire mind demands specificity. It requires a detailed, meticulously crafted blueprint of the future you intend to build. What is the exact number you want in your bank account? By what date? What is the product or service you will create? Who will you serve? What value will you provide? This is not about writing a generic wish list. This is about writing a contract with yourself. When Henry Ford decided he wanted to build a car for the masses, he didn't just say, I want to make a lot of money. He had a crystal clear vision of a vehicle that was reliable, affordable, and accessible to the working class. He could see the assembly line in his mind, the parts coming together, the finished product rolling off the line, and the families driving it down the road. This is the difference between a daydream and a definitive plan. Your subconscious mind is a powerful engine, but it needs a destination. Without a clear, detailed map, it will simply spin its wheels in place, burning fuel without moving an inch. Clarity is the fuel injector for your ambition. It transforms vague aspirations into concrete directives. It forces you to move from the realm of possibility to the realm of probability. It is the first step in translating the invisible into the visible. And it is the one step that separates the dreamers from the doers. The foundation of the millionaire mind is not in the material world, but in the ethereal, invisible world of thought. Before you can hold a single dollar of true wealth in your hand, you must first create it in the sanctuary of your mind. This is where vision is born. It is the act of seeing your life not as it is, but as it could be, as it will be, once you have sculpted it with the full force of your will. This is more than a daydream. This is a vivid, multi-sensory hallucination of your future. You are not just seeing your success. You are feeling the weight of it in your hands, tasting the victory on your tongue, hearing the applause, and smelling the fresh paint of your new office. This is what separated Andrew Carnegie from the masses of his time. He didn't just see a steel mill, he saw an empire of steel, an industrial engine that would power the growth of an entire nation. He saw the railroads crisscrossing the country, the towering skyscrapers reaching for the heavens, all built with the steel that flowed from his furnaces. This wasn't a vague hope. It was a deeply ingrained, unshakable reality in his mind before a single new furnace was lit. He had already become a titan in his mind long before the world acknowledged him as one. Your vision is your North Star. It is the destination that your burning desire drives you toward. Without it, you are a ship without a rudder, a wanderer lost at sea, drifting wherever the currents of circumstance take you. The millionaire mind refuses to be a victim of circumstance. It creates its own currents, it builds its own winds, it charts its own course. It understands that the greatest force in the universe is a human mind with a clear, unwavering vision of what it is creating. And this vision, once defined, becomes a magnetic force, attracting the people, the opportunities, and the resources necessary to bring it into the physical world. This is not magic. This is the law of attraction at its most fundamental and most powerful level. What you think about, you bring about. What you focus on expands. Your mind is a broadcasting tower, and your vision is the frequency you are transmitting. The universe is always listening. The question is, what signal are you sending out? Now, a vision without a purpose is just a beautiful painting with no deeper meaning. Purpose is the soul of your vision. It is the why that fuels the what. Why do you want to build this empire? Why do you want to achieve this wealth? Is it to prove someone wrong? That's a good starting point, but it's a weak fuel that will burn out. Is it to live a life of comfort? That's a passive goal. True purpose is bigger than you. It is a mission. It is a calling. It is the conviction that your success will serve a greater good. Think of Elon Musk. His purpose isn't just to sell electric cars or rockets. His purpose is to accelerate humanity's transition to sustainable energy and to make humanity a multiplanetary species. His vision is a world powered by solar energy and a civilization living on Mars. The money, the fame, the power of these are simply byproducts of his relentless pursuit of a purpose that is so grand, so audacious, that it transcends personal gain. This is the difference between a business and a movement. A business sells a product. A movement changes the world. The millionaire mind aligns its personal ambition with a purpose that is so powerful it becomes a force of nature. It understands that the greatest fulfillment doesn't come from what you get, but from what you give. It is the deep spiritual satisfaction of knowing that your life's work is making a dent in the universe. It is the quiet confidence that your success is not a zero-sum game, but a rising tide that lifts all boats. When you connect your vision to a purpose, your work stops being a chore and starts being a crusade. A great vision and a noble purpose are nothing without the iron-willed force of discipline. This is the hard part. This is where the romance of the idea meets the brutality of reality. Discipline is the daily grind. It is the small, unglamorous decisions made over and over again. It is getting up before the sun, even when your body screams for rest. It is saying no to the distractions, the temptations, and the comfort of the easy path. It is the relentless, monotonous execution of your plan, even when you don't feel like it. The world will tell you to follow your passion. The millionaire mind tells you to follow your discipline. Passion is an emotional state. It ebbs and flows. Discipline is a habit. It is a muscle that strengthens with every use. Think of the greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs. Their success is not a result of a sudden burst of genius, but a testament to years of grueling, unwavering discipline. They showed up when they didn't want to. They pushed through when it hurt. They did the boring, repetitive work that no one ever sees. This is the silent engine of greatness. The millionaire mind understands that freedom is not found in a lack of rules, but in the mastery of them. It knows that true liberation comes from conquering your own impulses, your own laziness, your own fears. Discipline is the bridge between the dreams you have and the reality you live. It is the unwavering commitment to your future self, the one you are building, one small, disciplined choice at a time. It is the understanding that what you do every day is more important than what you do every once in a while. The final piece of this foundation is the relentless, unforgiving force of action. A burning desire, unwavering faith, crystal clear vision, noble purpose, and iron-willed discipline are all just potential energy until they are converted into kinetic force. The average person thinks. The millionaire mind acts. The path to success is littered with the bodies of brilliant thinkers who never moved, who were paralyzed by the fear of failure, the need for perfection, or the comfort of staying in the planning stage. The world doesn't reward perfect plans. It rewards audacious action. Think of Ray Kroc, the man who built the McDonald's empire. He was an aging milkshake machine salesman when he met the McDonald brothers. He didn't have a multi-million-dollar business plan. He had an idea, a burning desire, and the guts to take a massive risk. He took action. He franchised. He built. He made mistakes. He got sued. He kept going. He understood that you don't need to see the entire staircase to take the first step. The path reveals itself as you walk it. The millionaire mind understands this implicitly. It knows that the fastest way to learn is by doing, the fastest way to grow is by failing forward, and the fastest way to success is by taking immediate, intelligent, and persistent action. The universe doesn't respond to your intentions, it responds to your actions. It doesn't care about your dreams, it cares about what you are doing to make them real. The world is full of potential millionaires, people with brilliant ideas and boundless talent. But the world is only changed by the ones who act. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for all the stars to align. The stars will align only when you start moving. Your action is the gravitational force that pulls your destiny toward you. This leads us to the critical distinction between a job and a calling. A job is what you do for a paycheck. A calling is what you do to fulfill your purpose. The average mind seeks a job with a predictable salary, benefits, and a clear path to retirement. The millionaire mind seeks a calling that is so aligned with its purpose and vision that the pursuit of it feels less like work and more like living. This is not about hating your job. It is about recognizing that your life's work should be a deep, soulful expression of your unique gifts and talents. Think of Steve Jobs. He didn't just have a job. He had a calling to change the world through technology and design. He believed that technology could be beautiful, intuitive, and magical. He was so consumed by this calling that the long hours, the setbacks, the failures, and the constant pressure were not burdens but part of the journey. The money was a result, not the reason. The millionaire mind finds its calling, and then it finds a way to get paid for it. It understands that the greatest wealth is not just financial, but also spiritual and emotional. It is the wealth of living a life that is so deeply aligned with your soul's purpose that every day feels like a gift, not a grind. This is the ultimate freedom, the freedom to wake up every morning and pour your creative energy into something that you believe in, something that matters. And to sustain this journey, you need the superpower of resilience. Life is not a straight line. It is a messy, chaotic, and often brutal journey. You will face setbacks. You will experience failures. You will be told no more times than you can count. The average person takes these setbacks personally. They internalize the failure. They believe it is a reflection of their worth. The millionaire mind, however, sees failure not as a period, but as a comma. It is a learning experience. It is feedback from the universe. It is a data point on the path to success. Think of Abraham Lincoln. Before he became one of the greatest presidents in American history, he failed at business, suffered a nervous breakdown, and lost multiple elections. He was a walking testament to failure, but he didn't see it that way. He saw each setback as a lesson, each defeat as a stepping stone. His resilience was not an absence of pain, but a mastery of it. It was the ability to feel the sting of defeat and still get up the next day, armed with new knowledge and an even greater resolve. The millionaire mind doesn't ask, why is this happening to me? It asks, what can I learn from this? It understands that the greatest lessons are not learned in victory, but in defeat. It knows that true strength is not measured by the absence of struggle, but by the power of your comeback. Your resilience is the armor that protects you from the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. It is the unwavering conviction that you will not be broken, you will not be defeated, you will only be forged in the fire. The millionaire mind is also a master of learning. It understands that the world is in a constant state of change, and that the greatest asset you can possess is a thirst for knowledge. The average person stops learning once they leave school. They become a finished product, a static being in a dynamic world. They cling to the knowledge of yesterday, convinced that what worked before will work again. The millionaire mind, however, is a perpetual student. It understands that the moment you stop learning, you start dying. It is an insatiable curiosity that drives it to read, to listen, to seek out mentors, to attend seminars, and to constantly expand its mental model of the world. Think of Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men in the world. He spends the majority of his day reading. He is a learning machine, constantly absorbing information, analyzing data, and refining his understanding of the world. He knows that the surest way to a competitive advantage is to know something that others don't. And the only way to do that is to be a relentless learner. The millionaire mind understands that the greatest investment you can make is in yourself. It knows that every book you read, every course you take, every new skill you acquire is a deposit into your intellectual capital, and that intellectual capital is the engine of all future wealth. It is the understanding that the most valuable commodity in the 20th century is not oil or gold or real estate, but knowledge. And the most powerful force in the universe is a mind that is hungry, open, and relentlessly curious. Your commitment to learning is a commitment to your future self, the one who will be armed with the wisdom and insight to navigate the complexities of a rapidly changing world. This continuous learning fuels the capacity for adaptability. The world will not bend to your will. You must bend with the world. The average mind clings to old ways, to comfortable routines, and to the illusion of control. The millionaire mind, however, is a master of improvisation. It understands that a plan is just a starting point and that the real work begins when the plan falls apart. Think of the countless businesses that have failed because they refuse to adapt to new technology or changing consumer habits. The world is a river, and you can either build a dam and get washed away, or you can build a raft and ride the current. The millionaire mind builds the raft. It is not afraid to pivot, to change course, to abandon a failing idea and start over. It understands that clinging to the past is the fastest way to a stagnant future. This is the lesson of giants like Kodak and Blockbuster, who were so committed to their old models that they were rendered obsolete by the digital revolution. The millionaire mind, in contrast, is always looking forward, always asking, what's next? It is a chameleon, able to change its colors to blend in with a new landscape of opportunity. It knows that the only constant in life is change, and that the only way to thrive is to become a master of it. But all of this, the desire, the faith, the action, the resilience, will eventually lead to a sense of emptiness if not anchored in gratitude. The millionaire mind is not just about accumulation, it is about appreciation. The average person is a consumer, always looking for the next thing, the next acquisition, the next milestone that will finally make them happy. But the happiness is fleeting, and the cycle of desire continues. The millionaire mind understands that true wealth is not in having, but in being. It is the deep spiritual understanding that you are already abundant, that you are already blessed, and that every breath, every sunrise, every opportunity is a gift. Gratitude is the quiet engine of fulfillment. It is the daily practice of acknowledging the blessings you already have, which in turn creates a magnetic field that attracts even more blessings into your life. The millionaire mind doesn't wait to be grateful until it has reached its goals. It is grateful for the journey. It is grateful for the struggles. It is grateful for the lessons. It is grateful for the people who helped it along the way. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a powerful spiritual practice that grounds you, humbles you, and reminds you that your success is not just a result of your own effort, but a gift from the universe. It is the understanding that the more you appreciate, the more you will have to appreciate. This is the essence of the millionaire mind. It is not a secret, but a philosophy. It is not a quick fix, but a lifelong commitment. It is a distinct way of seeing, thinking, and being in the world. It is the unwavering conviction that your destiny is not a matter of luck, but a matter of choice. You have been given the most powerful tool in the universe, your mind, and you have been given the most precious resource in the universe, your time. What are you going to do with them? Are you going to continue to drift through the motions, a passenger in your own life, haunted by the whispers of what could be? Or are you going to take the wheel, chart a new course, and define for yourself what it means to live a life of purpose, of passion, and of profound wealth? This is not a suggestion. This is a command. You must define the millionaire mind for yourself, not because of the money, but because of the man or woman you will become in the process. The wealth is just the reward for the transformation. The real prize is the person who has the courage to declare their own destiny, the discipline to pursue it, and the resilience to overcome every obstacle in their path. The real prize is the knowledge that you are no longer a victim of circumstance, but the master of your own fate. The real prize is the quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from living a life of profound meaning and purpose. This is your birthright. This is your legacy, and it is time to claim it. The world is waiting for you to become the person you were always meant to be, the person who doesn't just watch the highlight reels of others, but who creates their own, the person who doesn't just wish for a better life, but who builds it, brick by brick, thought by thought, action by action, the person who doesn't just dream, but who defines their own destiny and forges it into a reality. The path is not easy. The journey is long. but the view from the top is worth every single step. So, stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for someone to give you the map. The map is inside you. The power is inside you. The millionaire mind is inside you. All you have to do is define it. And then, with every fiber of your being, live it. The time for waiting is over. The time for becoming is now. The final and perhaps most powerful element of this mindset is the cultivation of a mastermind alliance. This is the one principle that Napoleon Hill wrote about with the most reverence, and it is the one that is most often overlooked in our era of rugged individualism. We are sold the lie that you must do it all on your own, that you must be a lone wolf, a singular hero. This is a myth, and it is a path to certain failure. The millionaire mind understands that no one succeeds alone. It knows that its own power is magnified and multiplied when it is connected to a group of like-minded, ambitious, and complementary individuals. A mastermind alliance is not a casual group of friends. It is a highly intentional, synergistic assembly of minds dedicated to the mutual support and advancement of each member's goals. Think of the great collaborations in history, the partnership between Thomas Edison and Henry Ford, the friendship and mentorship between Andrew Carnegie and Napoleon Hill, the creative collective at Pixar. These alliances were not just about sharing ideas, they were about a powerful spiritual and intellectual synergy. It was the ability of a group of minds to create a third, more powerful mind, one that could solve problems and create opportunities that no single individual could ever have conceived of alone. The millionaire mind doesn't just seek mentors, it seeks peers. It seeks a circle of equals who will challenge it, inspire it, and hold it accountable. It understands that your net worth is a direct reflection of your network. It knows that the people you surround yourself with will either lift you up or drag you down. So look around you. Who are you spending your time with? Are they a part of your future, or are they a part of your past? Are they feeding your vision, or are they feeding your doubts? The millionaire mind ruthlessly edits its circle, not out of arrogance, but out of an unyielding commitment to its own destiny. It understands that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. The choice and the responsibility is entirely yours. And this alliance is built on a foundation of reciprocity. The average mind operates from a place of scarcity. It asks, what can I get? The millionaire mind operates from a place of abundance. It asks, what can I give? This is the great paradox of wealth. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you invest in others, the more they will invest in you. This is not about a transactional relationship. It is about a spiritual principle. Think of the great philanthropists, the mentors, the leaders who have lifted up entire industries. Their legacy is not measured by the size of their bank account, but by the number of lives they have touched and transformed. The millionaire mind understands that true wealth is a river, not a reservoir. It is meant to flow, to irrigate, to create new life. The moment you try to dam it up and hoard it for yourself is the moment it begins to stagnate and lose its power. The millionaire mind gives its time, its knowledge, its resources, and its support freely without expectation of immediate return. It understands that the universe keeps a ledger and that every act of generosity is a deposit into an account that will pay dividends far beyond what you can imagine. This is not just a business strategy, it is a way of life. It is the deep spiritual satisfaction of knowing that your success is not just for you, but for the world. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are a part of a greater whole, and that your purpose is to contribute to its growth. Finally, we arrive at the ultimate expression of the millionaire mind, legacy. The average person lives for today. They are consumed by the immediate desires, the momentary gratifications, the endless pursuit of the next pleasure. They live a life that, when it is over, will leave little more than a memory and a few possessions. The millionaire mind, however, lives for eternity. It thinks in generations, not in quarters. It understands that the work it does today is not just for its own benefit, but for the benefit of its children, its grandchildren, and the generations that will follow. This is the difference between building a business and building an institution. This is the difference between accumulating wealth and creating a legacy. Think of the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, the Fords. Their names are not just associated with money, They are associated with foundations, with universities, with entire industries that have shaped the modern world. They understood that the greatest expression of wealth is not in what you possess, but in what you leave behind. The millionaire mind doesn't just ask, how can I get rich? It asks, what will be my legacy? It is the quiet, powerful understanding that your life's work is a part of a much larger story, and that you have a responsibility to make that story one of purpose, of contribution, and of lasting impact. This is not about vanity, it is about transcendence. It is the deep spiritual satisfaction of knowing that your life was not just a flicker, but a flame that lit the way for others. It is the ultimate expression of a life well lived. This, then, is the complete architecture of the millionaire mind. It is a synthesis of desire and faith, clarity and action, discipline and resilience, learning and adaptability, gratitude and legacy. It is a philosophy that transcends the accumulation of money and becomes a framework for a life of profound meaning and impact. You have been given the blueprint. You have been shown the way. The question is no longer, what is it? But will you build it? The world is waiting for you to become the person you were always meant to be. The person who doesn't just watch the highlight reels of others, but who creates their own. The person who doesn't just wish for a better life, but who builds it, brick by brick, thought by thought, action by action. The person who doesn't just dream, but who defines their own destiny and forges it into a reality. The path is not easy. The journey is long, but the view from the top is worth every single step. So, stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for someone to give you the map. The map is inside you. The power is inside you. The millionaire mind is inside you. All you have to do is define it, and then, with every fiber of your being, live it. The time for waiting is over. The time for becoming is now. And it is in this becoming that you will find yourself. Not the self that was shaped by circumstance and fear, but the self that you consciously chose to create. This is the ultimate freedom. The freedom to be the architect of your own soul. The freedom to live a life that is a monument to your own potential. The freedom to leave a legacy that will outlast you. This is the purpose of the millionaire mind. To create a life so rich, so full, so impactful that the money is just a side effect, a natural consequence of a life lived on your own terms. It is a life of abundance, not just of money, but of purpose, of relationships, of joy, and of peace. And this life, this powerful, fulfilling, and unapologetically ambitious life, is not reserved for the lucky few. It is reserved for the few who are willing to do the hard work of defining it for themselves. The choice is yours. The time is now.